Okay, we have a quick rule to get horizontal asymptotes. The first is if the degree of the numerator is smaller than the degree of the denominator. So in this case here, the degree is 1, the denominator's degree is 2, then it's always going to be 0. So you just say y equals 0. If it's reversed, if you have a larger 1 on top and a smaller degree on the bottom, then it's not going to happen. There is none. If they happen to be the same degree, so like in the previous example, then you take the coefficients in front of them and divide. So this is going to be 1, y equals 1 over 2 or 0.5. Either one is acceptable, but I usually just stick with a fraction. So let's apply it to these problems here. We have three different functions. So let's start with the rules first. Since the degree for 6x squared plus 1 over 2x squared minus 3 is the same, then we were going to apply this third rule, and we're going to say we can just divide the coefficients, right? So we have 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So we'd say y equals 3. Now, if you graph it, you can see that this graph will kind of just basically approach the line, but it'll never go over it. So y equals 3 is an appropriate horizontal asymptote. Let me turn those off. Let's look at the second one. So we have 4 over x minus 4. So that in this case here, you have a first degree, but in the top there is 0 degree. So it's actually a smaller degree on the bottom. So that's going to be the first rule. So it's going to be y equals 0. So take a look here, see if you understand that. And this graph here, if I were to put y equals 0, that would be the x-axis essentially. And again, this graph will not cross over it. So y equals 0 is an appropriate horizontal asymptote for that. And then finally, the last one, you have a higher degree on the numerator, 2 versus 1 on the denominator. So that's going to be the second rule here. So according to that rule, there should be no horizontal asymptote. So if I hide these, let's open that up. And you can see it's a diagonal line. There is no horizontal line that it approaches. So it'd simply be none. So that would just be none, which there is none to graph. It's just none. So let's put those answers in. So y equals 3, y equals 0, and none.